All right, so who are you?
Mack, Simmy. I'm an artist from the 610. And I'm happy y'all got me here. I'm happy to be on your podcast.
I'm glad you came, bro. It's a beautiful day.
For sure.
Luckily, we're dodging the bugs. Not too many bugs, so.
I ain't getting bit up yet.
A little bit on the way up here, but it's nice. We got the shade and everything.
For sure. It's a good view, too.
For real.
I hope y'all can really see it, too. But
For real.
It's a nice view. I ain't never seen Reading from this angle, so.
For real. So when you say artist, what exactly is that? What do you mean?
So rap artist. I love songwriting. Whether if it's, my own songs, of course, or just like I feel like now I'm like trying to get into like ghostwriting, whether if that's sending out reference tracks to people and then they, take whatever it is that they like and run with it, or just writing lyrics for people.
Yeah.
I do everything but make beats, to be honest,
Yeah.
So when I say artist, I also mean like, the art of it too, like just me putting together, like I got Summertime Simmy 5 that just dropped. I didn't make the cover, but just being able to have my artistic, opinion on it and it coming out how I wanted it to, just stuff like that. And I've always been like hands-on with my artwork throughout the years.
Yeah.
So
when you're making stuff, you're looking at it more from like an artist's perspective.
For sure.
Kind of like Kendrick Lamar. They say he's like an amazing artist rather than somebody that's like a lyricist, probably like Eminem. I mean, he's still an artist, but like he just hits straight bars, you know what I mean? So you look at it from like an artist perspective?
Yeah, I definitely look at it from an artist perspective for sure. I also try to like take myself out of my position and I try to look at it from like, if I'm a fan of Mack Simmy, like would I like this or would I like how this sounds or would I like, just taking that approach as well. Like it's a combination of both.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, that's good. So when exactly did you get started with that? Because I honestly never even got to sit down and talk, so it's nice to be able to get to know. So when did you start making music?
For sure. So I started making music in like 2007, 2008, as far as like writing, like just writing bars and freestyles and stuff like that, and then starting to transition to writing songs. That sounds like an ancient time ago now, but it was definitely just something that I would just use to be an outlet, as far as my craft, or as far as just things going on in life, because I was, 15, 16, so, just going through that phase of life, becoming an adult, becoming a man. I feel like I needed an outlet to just express myself, so I started writing, and I feel like in the beginning it was something that I would keep to myself until I felt like I was confident enough and good enough to put it out there. But as far as taking it super serious, like really starting to like be in the studio and, develop as an artist, was definitely like 2010. So from there forward, I've just been, just trying to put it together, man. You know what I mean? In the beginning, like I thought I would have definitely been to where I wanted to be by now. This was back in 2010, but now in 2023, I'm still satisfied. I'm still happy, I'm comfortable where I'm at as an artist, because I also know that there's a lot more work to do, and it's not just, and honestly, the game has changed a lot since in the last 13 years, so.
For real.
We can get more into that, but yeah, for the most part though, I started in 2007 as far as just writing and then just taking it serious in 2010.
Was there like somebody that you saw, like an artist, that you're like, oh, like, I want to be like that guy? Because like I know for me, like I see mixing engineers like Mike Dean or like Rick Rubin, and I'm like, yo, I want to be like that guy.
Right.
So did you have like anybody that
in the beginning, I would say we talking 2007, so Cassidy was like probably like the hottest rapper to me at the time, as far as his punchlines went and just his bars and him being from Philly. So I would definitely say, like, I wouldn't shy away from saying that was probably the person that, made me put the pen to the paper and saying, dang, like I could come up with some punchlines too, type of thing. So that was at that time. And then like, like Meek Mill was out, Lil Wayne, got hot around that time. So T.I., Pharrell, like those were like the major artists though that I felt like, I'm trying to like be next to them type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
so you were looking up to all the legends.
For sure, though.
Now it's a little different. It's a little weird. There's not really that legendary art, but you were coming up like right when.
Yeah, I feel like this was
all
like
those legends.
I feel like around then, like 2008, 2009, like that's when you would start hearing hip hop is dead. Like I think even Nas dropped the album called Hip Hop is Dead around that time. So it was like I used to have like that vengeance to like keep it alive. Like that was my whole style, like originally. And I feel like you know, with just releasing Summertime Simmy 5, I've been getting like feedback just from whoever, and I take it as, you know, positive feedback or constructive criticism, never anything negative, because I just appreciate when people actually do reach out and just tell me how they feel about it, or even if they're just tagging me or something. But I've been getting a lot of feedback, not a lot, but a few people have said this gives me a 90s vibe, like a 90s vibe. And it's like, it's not like they're saying it in a bad way, but they're not also saying it in a good way. They're just saying like, you know, I don't really look for that kind of music in today's time, but it's dope that some of this gives me that vibe, basically. And it's like, it was a surprise. It's like, dang, like, because when I first started rapping, it's like, yeah, when I developed my style, it definitely had a, you know, 90s to it, but it also had current times to it, and as well as leading all the way up to today, just always trying to stay current. So I kind of take pride on like the old school, new school feel of the rap game, you know?
Yeah, I could definitely tell you. Your pronunciation is super clean.
Yeah.
And I listened back to I actually played your first album in 2014.
Okay.
So I was curious. I was like, all right, let's see how much how much better he got. And you can really hear like just how you progress. Right. So it's really cool to see that. Especially with, I can tell now that I haven't listened to all your albums, but it seems like now you're incorporating more like melodic stuff. Would you say that?
Right, for sure.
Bro, that's huge. Like I could, because most people like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the lyricist stuff is super cool, but people don't just like bump that. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
So incorporating both, bro, that's huge.
Right. And I feel like that's when I'm just noticing that, you know, that I got to build my own fan base of people that like that music, you know, instead of like, I feel like with me, Mack, Simmy, right? Like I'm from the streets, you know what I mean? Like I got, you know, all my homies, like, you know, like they in the street, like whatever. And I feel like for the most part, my community, like Norristown, Pottstown, Reading, like, you know, people support me because of how hard I've been going with it. And I feel like the first thing they expect when they push play sometimes, though, is me to just be on straight street vibe. Like, you feel me? And at the same time, it's not just street vibes. It's really not. It's actually like, I have my own style. You know, of course, it's you know, street in it. You know what I mean? But that's not all it is to it. And I feel like, yeah, I'm just trying to reach fans out there that really appreciate my type of music that I make. And also get it, you know, those that get it. And I feel like no matter what type of rap music you like, you're going to like my music or my style. But for the most part, though, I feel like if there's just 1,000 fans that I have that like the stuff that I put out, you know, that to me is success. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm just trying to build it up. That's all.
Yeah, and that's smart, bro. Because like I said, a lot more people. The audience is bigger when you go towards that, and you might lose some of those fans from back then if they only like the hard stuff. You know what I mean? And that's the fact that you even recognize that is huge, because like you're changing with the game. That's what'll separate somebody from staying in the game or you know, being that old rapper dude that nobody. He's like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure, though, for sure.
You have to adapt with the game. I was even watching a podcast with Dr. Dre, and so many people will be like, oh, I hate these new little baby, little this, little that.
Right.
It's not like the old stuff, but he was saying like they're using what they have. You know what I mean? And that's just what they have. And,
for sure. And that's why me, like, you know, my people will tell you, I stay up on the new music like I always do. And they be like, oh, you like this song? I'm like, yo, I love this song. Yeah. Because it's not always like, to me, just because like what we're talking about, like you don't have to be an artist that fits my style for me to be a fan. It's like, no, I like new, creative, innovative music. So back when Chief Keef and them first came out, like a lot of people like, and you know, that I was surrounded by, it's like, oh, this is trash. Like, this is trash. And I'm just like, no, like, this is hot, bro. Like, this is game changing. And now you see how much influence that Chief Keef had on the game. And to me, it's always about what's new. At the end of the day, hip hop is hip. You know what I mean? It's like what's new, what's hip. So I always stay up on it. You know what I mean? So I don't knock nobody's style. I just feel like there's a market for everybody, as far as like, you know, just hip hop and rap goes and R&B. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you're neither going to like one song by the person, no songs by the person. But if the person is really somebody that's innovative and really is out here, you're still going to know who that person is. You know what I mean? You're still going to be able to name a song from that person. So, you know, everybody got different fan bases. And with us talking about this is like, lately I've been seeing how like, you know, they're saying like certain artists got to cancel their tours because they're not selling out and stuff like that. And I feel like, you know, there's a lot to that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, certain people have certain. We in the wild right now. I hear all types of stuff just nibbling and chewing, but it's all good, man. You know what I mean?
They're
I ain't
like
scared.
There's birds. I think they're birds.
No, it's all good. But with that being said, though, you know, everybody has their own market. So it's like if people are not selling out, maybe they got to take a different approach to it. But you know, these are still artists that are successful and considered the biggest artists in this time that we're in. Yeah. So it's just, you know, it's different strokes for different folks, man. And I feel like, you know, I'm just trying to do it my way, bro. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, people can say like I slowed down or I stopped or I should be here, I should be there. But, you know, it's my life, it's my path, it's my career. And it's like, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy just with, you know, the mental strength, the longevity, just learning the game, all the entire ins and outs, you know, being where I need to be, you know, at this right time, certain years of my life, you know, and kind of also that passing me by and just growing as a person, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's the most important thing. And I also feel like that's why you could listen to No Stops in 2014 and then listen to Summertime Simmy 5 in 2023, and you're definitely going to see the growth because I know I also grew as a person, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm the best version of myself right now. So
that's awesome, bro. That's good because you'll just keep progressing.
For sure. Like
if anybody in the game, it takes a while.
For sure.
For people to say, like you were saying, how people expect that out of you, but bro, it takes years. And then the thing is, if it does take you a long time, you hold that for like ever.
For sure.
Because the faster something comes up, the faster it comes down.
Exactly.
So if you're taking 10, 15 years and then you blow up, bro, you have so much. You have a whole entire backlist that they can just go through.
One of my main things that I always tell myself is like, you know, whenever it actually does happen, you know, because it will happen, I just want people to go back and listen to my old music and like understand the journey that it took. Understand, you know, that, you know, the first part, that's hot too, but it's like just literally just going through it, taking the time. Because I've been there, you know, just discovering certain artists, and it's like you realize that they had work way before the song that you heard, and it's like, you know, so for sometimes it's hard to even go through it. Like, so I listen to like a lot of like Griselda, like West Side Gun and Conway, and like, yo, these dudes, to me, I just discovered them in 2020 or something like that. But they got projects dating all the way back to where I'm talking about where I started rapping, you know, and I haven't even listened to all their work yet, and it's like. I still get a kick out of stuff like that. So I do aspire to just, you know, be that type of artist because I already put the work in too, you know what I mean? And Jadakiss always said, you know, you blow up what do you say? Blow up overnight. That's why you fell fast. So it's like, I'm not trying to fall fast, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's only going to take one. You know?
For sure.
You'll be like, you'll probably wake up one day and be like, dang, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, that song got a million plays.
I'm waiting on it, man. I'm waiting on it.
So what do you see to be like the hardest thing when it comes to making music? Like, what is the most challenging thing, or what thing sets you back when it comes to making music?
At this day and age, like, I would definitely say it's like music to me is more of a luxury. So it was once a necessity. It was like living in the studio, like not necessarily, but pretty much feeling like I lived in the studio for years, about 10 years of my life, day in, day out. I was in the studio, maybe some on and off time in between. And it was more like, it felt like a necessity. But, you know, as a grown man that got bills, that got, you know, just stability and just trying to maintain everything that you got, that I have going on, I feel like it's a luxury. So being able to actually enjoy that luxury. So it's like this, like if you go to LA right now, you know, it's a luxury to get off that plane and hop in a Lamborghini, you know, and that's what you want to ride in for the weekend. So you got to make that decision. Like, am I going
Right.
to get the Lamborghini today, or I'm just going to get a basic, sedan and just ride out like that? So that's how I feel like that's the hardest thing for me. It's like, just coming across whatever and being like, yo, I'm going to dish this out for this and this and that. But, I still got kids. I still got bills. So that's probably the hardest part. You know what I mean? Just having unlimited funds to be able to really do the things that I need to do, to be completely honest.
So like balancing life and...
For sure. That's the hardest thing, bro. It's definitely the hardest. And that's a good word to put, just balance, the whole balance of it. Like, just balancing it, bro. Because for years... there's a time where I didn't have to balance as much because I didn't have as much going on. And then now I have a lot going on. So it's very tough to balance. You know what I mean? I might have a show and at the same time, like, I got my children, you feel me? And it's like, I got to find a babysitter. I got to do the whole 9 yards. It's not like something I could just go and just say, hey, I'm just doing a show and, and the heck with the kids. Like, that ain't me. So it's just stuff like that. And some events, I might got to bring them with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely the balance, though, bro. That's
Put
just
them up
a
on
good
stage
example.
with you.
Yo, for sure. They might gotta come up on stage with me. Like,
How many shows have you done?
I did a lot, man.
Yeah.
I would just like to put like a solid number on it. I'm gonna say 50, but that sounds like such a low number.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, bro.
But
that's good.
I guess I say that because, like, there's people out there doing tours right now. They just did 30 shows in 2 months. You know what I mean? But I've definitely done more than like 50 performances, like, just throughout the time I've been doing stuff. Even dating back to like 2008, 2009. Like, when I was 15, that was the first time I performed. Like,
I was gonna ask, do you remember your first?
Yeah, I actually do, bro. I do. Like,
how was that? Were you nervous?
Yeah, definitely was nervous. I just remember, like, it was a party in Pottstown. Excuse me, it was a party in Pottstown, and that's where I grew up. That's where I went to high school at and stuff. And literally, our parties used to be lit. You feel me? So, like, people would come from all, like, other towns and stuff. And I remember being on stage. Shout out to DJ Smoke. He was the DJ, and that's when he first used to play my music, like, at the events we would be at. He put my song on, and I remember him. He looked at me, handed me the microphone, like, it's time. I just remember grabbing that mic. I remember spitting it, and I just remember my whole hood just literally vibing out with me, like, at 15. Like, I feel like if we had Instagram or YouTube or any type of documentary then, it would be so lit to be able to, if that moment was captured, and be able to go back and look at it. You know what I mean? But, I'm like an ancient dinosaur that wasn't even out then. You know what I mean? But I'll never forget that moment. If you were there, I'm pretty sure people remember that moment too. So
like, from there, you were like hooked.
Yo, definitely.
You're like, this is definitely what I want.
Definitely, bro. Like, I crossed that bridge. Like, damn, I performed. Like, I got a song out. I performed it. People are listening to it. This is MySpace Day, so people are putting this on their page, and that's where it all started, bro. And I just kind of, I've had way higher moments than that, I feel like, throughout my career, but just that being able to jump start it, I feel like that was definitely, a sign to say, yo, you got it. Like, keep going,
Were those all free shows, or like?
Yeah, for the most part. So for the most part, the most shows that I've done were free shows. Deeper than that, man, like, we keeping it all the way 1,000. It's like some of those shows are pay to perform shows, which I am not a fan of. And if you're an artist out there, you get what I'm saying? If you're an artist out there, I would definitely encourage to not take that route, no matter what you think you're going to get out of that show, because most pay to perform shows go like this, for me at least. Mack, Simmy, right? Oh, yeah, there's a show, there's an event. I'm reaching out. All right, I want to perform. And especially if it's locally, what they always do to me is make me pay or sell tickets. Hey, I'll give you 10 tickets, sell them $10, you make $100.
Yeah.
It never works out like that, you know what I mean? No. And then when I get to the show, I'm usually the last person they want to perform. You know why? Because I always come with 20, 30 people, or even if it's 10 people, that's 10 more than the next artist came with. And it's co-ed. It's not just 20 guys. It's girls and guys. And they want the crowd to stay there. You get what I'm saying? So that I went through a lot of shows where I just had to watch people perform. And then when it's my time to shine, it's just me and my people. And I've done a lot of those shows, to be completely honest. And, you know, it's good for the experience. It's good that I've done those things. But, like, yeah, artists out there that's coming up, I'll definitely not encourage to do those shows like that. I have gotten paid to perform before as well. Probably a handful of times, and I appreciate it regardless. You know what I mean? Whether if it was $100 or greater. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I was just curious on how that works, because
a lot of it was paid to perform.
I guess that's good though. You learned
for sure though.
You learned to avoid that.
And I feel like there was a time, definitely like almost 10 years ago, where that was the way for artists to get seen and network and come up. You had to go to those events. So I'm not knocking it, because you had to put that work in, you know what I mean? But nowadays in time, I feel like, nah, like I'm trying to get to a level where I throw my own concert, a Mack Simmy concert. I bring my friends out, and we legit have a great time and a great experience for any fan or supporter that's in the building, you know what I mean?
You should definitely do that.
For sure, bro. It's definitely on the checklist. For sure, bro. Like, bro,
we gotta put that together.
It's definitely already on the the drawing board. It's just I just got a formula that I'm also trying to work with as well. So to build it up. So that's where I feel like it's at now.
So I had a question about that one song. You dropped it on the new one. What is it, Summertime 75?
Yep.
What's the song with the female vocal on it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's Anna Bree. It's called Leave Me.
Yeah, bro, that sounds fine. But how did you end up like getting her on the track? Was that like you found the sample or something?
No,
or the guy found the beat, or like how did that song come about?
So Anna Bree, I met her in Pottstown when I was doing music in Pottstown. She was doing music, and Anna Bree, like she's a big deal, bro. Like she's like, to me, and to whoever knows her, like she's a big deal, and I feel like she needs to be seen and heard way more than she is. But with that being said, it's been years of, we got to do a track, and just building. And I would say, so the funny part about Summertime 75 is that song, Leave Me, featuring Anna Bree, and Scroll Up. I did both of those songs back in 2021. Those were the only 2 songs I did. And then I created the rest of the project in May. It took me 5 days to write. So it was 10 songs. So 8 of those tracks, I wrote them in 5 days. And then I recorded everything. I was going to re-record Scroll Up and Leave Me. But I re-recorded Scroll Up, but Leave Me, that my engineer, Jay, he actually mixed it. So with that being said, me and Anna Bree, I used to have a studio on Penn Street, Stay 1000 Studios, and she came through. And it was pretty much on a tight time, like, Bree, if you trying to work, like, here's the key. Lock in, do whatever you need to do, like on that type of time. And she was rocking out at the studio, just creating a bunch of music, a bunch of vibes. And then one day I pulled up on her. Mose had just sent me the beat, and at that time I was looking to do some boom bap music. Like I wanted beats to be boom bap. So that beat to me was so perfect, because I was like, this is exactly what I need. Where it's like I can harmonize, melodize, but also spit some bars on this. And then I think I wrote like the first verse, and then she came up with the hook, and then I came back and did the second verse, and after that it was done, bro. You know what I mean? So I've been holding on to that track for the last 2 years, and I'm happy that I was able to actually put it out and put it on this project, and it's been getting a lot of feedback from it. So
I bet.
I
love that. When I heard that, I was like, that's the kind of stuff that people like,
for sure,
with the hooks and stuff,
for sure.
And I could tell that you're like, even with your mixing, it sounds like you're doing more like the hooks are more melodic and stuff like that.
For sure, bro.
For any tech nerds or like any mixing engineers, what are you mixing in, and like how do you go about getting your stuff mixed and stuff like that?
So when I record myself, I use Pro Tools. I would say 90% of the music that I've ever released was probably recorded by myself, mixed by myself, or someone on my team or something like that. And with that being said, I just feel like I record my music, first of all, in a way that I know, the mix, whoever's mixing it, whether if I'm mixing it or anyone, ain't gonna have to do too much, So it comes down to recording for me first, and then hearing it. So it's like on Leave Me specifically, my guy Jay from Pagoda City is the one who mixed that track, and I just pretty much told him, like, on my verse, like, I wanted a little bit of, like, distortion, raspiness to it. And if you listen close, you can hear that. And I like it because it's different. It's not, something that you've, like, heard before. You can almost even think, like, it's a rough version of a track, but it's, like, that's how I wanted it. So, because I also recorded it that way. So, it really just depends on what work we're talking about. But for the most part, I do, I mix on Pro Tools. I use wave files and stuff like that. And different, just different plugins. Honestly, I can't even say it.
He does all that stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Well, he did it all for this project, but for the most part, I haven't recorded myself in probably like a year and a half. So.
Do you know how to mix?
Yeah, I know how to mix.
Okay.
Yeah, I know how to mix
I
to
don't
a T.
know if you
I just it's something that that I feel like I would rather someone else do at this point. You know, I've done a lot of mixing on my own. You know, I'm confident in what I could do, but I'm always searching for just something a little bit more. So I'd rather pull up to somebody's studio and, you know, like I'll come and record with y'all. It's like, yo, no, bro, you mix it. Like, you know what I mean? I might tell you a few key things that I'm looking for in that mix, but other than that, man, I kind of trust people to. Yeah. If I don't, then why am I really working with you? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Sometimes it's better that way too, because then somebody else's perspective on your voice can just make a whole difference.
Exactly.
So what would you say to somebody that's like younger, that's trying to start out? Say they're like back to when you were started, 14, 15. What advice would you give to them in today's age?
So I feel like we're in a time where it's like they said like I don't want to say it to a T and get any of the details wrong, but they said like 2023 is like one of the first years where there wasn't too many artists trending with the number one song, basically, or at the top of the Billboard, I should say, right? And I feel like that's coming from a place where a lot of people are just copying what they're hearing and they're running with it and they're trying to make their own version of it. And it's really getting oversaturated. It's getting burnt out. It's getting played out. And it's hard for people to really trust the new artists nowadays, you know? So from my point of view, I feel like you should be able to take whatever styles that you do like, because honestly, I feel like when you make music, there's something that's always inspiring you to do so, you know, something that you really love and you're like, yo, I want to be like this artist, et cetera, et cetera. So I say, take a little bit of that, but at the same time, still stay original, like keep originality with it. And with that being said, that might take you time to develop that style. Yeah. So don't think, I just start making music tonight, I'm gonna get in the studio tomorrow, I'm gonna record this song, I'm gonna drop the song by Friday. Right. It's like, you might want to take some time. So that's the main advice I want to give to just new artists. Give it some time, you know, be patient. Work on 6 records instead of working on 20 song album and you just started rapping, you know what I mean? Because it might take you to that 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th song to really find your style. If you just kind of just jump in it and just keep going, it just might be a little bit harder for you to reach, you know? And a lot of people, I feel like, are sold on this whole going viral thing, you know? And at the same time, like, people don't understand that going viral just isn't what you think it is. It's so many factors behind going viral that you got to do your research on, and you got to understand this is why this person went viral. And if you really sit down and think about it, all the songs that go viral, they also have some kind of undertone to it where it's like, this is blatant music that's promoting violence, or blatant music that's promoting sex, or blatant music that's promoting, you know, robbery and killing and literally. And you might put out a song that's hard, but the factors of whatever it takes to go viral is like, that's probably why you're not going viral, because you might not land all the way in that position. So I also say, don't do it to go viral. You know what I mean? Make music to build your own fan base. Like I just said earlier in the interview, yo, you get 1,000 fans that like your stuff. That's 1,000 people that's gonna buy your shirts. You sell those for $10. You do the math. You know what I mean? You're going to be successful. You can make money off of that, instead of just trying to just shoot for the millions of followers and millions of fans. Because a lot of that stuff be fake pages and robots and machines that's doing that too. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, when they go to try to, you know, sell tickets and stuff, you see that people not really showing up. Right. Because it's a lot of things that it takes to make you go viral, to make you have that million views on YouTube. So I would definitely encourage, just take your time, bro. Yeah, like think about like you said, people they probably have all this following, but then nobody shows up to their concert. That'd be the worst feeling ever. Bro, that would be the worst feeling for me, you know what I mean? $5 million on your shorts, but then you have nobody. Come on, bro. And if you look at the greats, like the people that really stay in the game forever, like I was saying in the beginning, they take forever. They're not trying to replicate anybody. Right.
like Mike Dean. If you look at Travis Scott, like he took what 5 years? Wasn't it 5 years?
Yeah, right.
That he dropped his last album. And that's crazy. Like he wasn't worried about like, oh, I'm gonna make this hit. He made a hit album, not a hit song.
Right,
like that album is gonna live forever.
For sure.
And people, it's the same thing with like if you just look at people like Drake, anybody like that, they make hit albums year after year after year. So
even like me, when I put out Summertime Simmy 5, like I was a little skeptical of putting out a project, like a full-length project, because of the times that we're in. And it's hard for people to receive the music the way that they once did. But at the same time, I was like, nah, I'm going to stick to my formula and what I know, because this is what I've been doing, you know? But I say that to also say, like, I could have took the approach where I just released Leave Me, shot a video for it, and then released Simmy Vibes, and then, you know, so on and so forth. It's like I could have did that over the period of time, but I'm just going to take that formula and do it a little bit different, you know? But at the same time, I also know that I have built up, you know, a following for myself, that I do have, you know, some core fans and supporters that's going to support my music, you know, and hey, that's something I built for myself. But everybody got to start somewhere. You can't just think you're going to wake up and, you know, build that for. And some people have it. Some people have that gift of gab, like they're going to sit there and drop a song. They might be in high school right now. They already was a star football player, basketball, whatever. They were a popular kid. They dropped a song. It's going up. You got hundreds of shares, hundreds of, you know, people tagging you. But know that if, you know, when that happens, you got to keep it going. And then when you're trying to keep it going, you might make some wrong moves after that kind of makes people go away, you know, or you might feel like, you know, I watched it happen 100 times. You know what I'm saying? That's just being honest. I watched it happen, you know, and then people are still kind of chasing that dopamine from when they first kind of just put out their music, because they're still stuck in the same place we're all stuck in, but they're still trying to just get up to a whole nother level, you know, and salute to them. At the end of the day, keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing, but...
That's so true. I mean, I know exactly what you mean. Because, like, once you put out, like, say you put out a hit song, that thing blows up, anybody that hears you from now on is going to expect that.
Exactly.
They're expecting the same energy. And truthfully, if you're a real artist, you're not going to always put out the same stuff.
No, never.
Like real artists be making weird stuff. Like that, and that to me is better. I'd rather listen to some art and stuff like that.
For sure.
But I'd be surprised to see, like, interested to see what happens in the next couple of years with you, because you're hitting like that. Isn't that? Are you at like a 10-year mark almost?
Yeah, pretty like a solid 10. Yes, like a solid 10. Yes,
that's what they say after like 10 years, or like if you do anything for 10 years, it's gonna click.
For sure.
So I promise you, bro, I can see that within the next 5 years, that's gonna click.
That's love.
One of those songs.
I do too, bro.
And you already have all that weight.
For sure.
You have so much weight now because you have that catalog. Like,
for sure, man.
Like people can just go through.
Like I said, bro, like my main goal is just, you know, short-term goal is just still just trying to build this up to that 1,000 fan. You know, I might not be able to count every 1,000, you know, all of those 1,000 fans, but and I feel like I got 1,000 fans, you know, just to keep it all the way 1,000. But I mean, like, just a core 1,000 where I throw a show or concert and 500 people are coming out to this show, buying tickets, buying merch.
Right.
To me, that's success. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I did this. You know what I mean? And anything else after that is just, you know, blowing it out the water. You know what I mean? And I got faith that I could, you know, have 1 million fans, 1 million followers, whatever it is. But more importantly, sell 1 million albums. You get what I'm saying? So I want people to just appreciate the art that I put out piece by piece. There is people that heard certain songs over the years and they expect that song over and over again. But, you know, I'm not one of those artists, you know. Right. Like I said, people expect just street stuff from me, which I can do night and day. I've been through it all and did it all, you know. But at the same time, there's more to me than just the street side of me, you know, and just things that I've been through. So it's just, you know, I'm just trying to put out just good art, bro. And I just want people to appreciate it, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you taking a listen. I appreciate being on this podcast. Like, yo, because every little thing is just all going to add up and all going to be a part of it in the end. So
for real. Yeah, I can't wait to see what the future has.
For sure, bro.
So besides music, what else? Like, what else do you like to do?
To be honest, bro, I like partying. I like hanging out. I like hanging out. You know what I mean? I like being outside. I like being a father. I love being a father. It's probably my favorite title, even over being an artist. So I spend a lot of time with my kids. But for the most part, yo, like, you know, I try to, like, so this past year I tried to do like a bunch of extracurricular things, and it was fun being involved in certain things and stuff like that. But I did have to just kind of just tell myself, like, you know, music is your purpose, it is your passion, so follow that. You know, you can't keep putting, you know, spilling in other cups, and it's like you still got another cup, you know, that you still need to make full. So right now I'm kind of getting back in that mindset of just like following my purpose, you know. And every day I wake up and I'm just trying to put new content out and stuff like that. It's literally telling me, like, bro, that's your purpose. Keep putting it out there. People are going to keep seeing, like, you know. And if you know me, you know music is my purpose. So, but outside of that, man, you know, man, I like hanging out. I like, you know, being social. Yeah, having a good time, just experiencing new things, you know, with my people that I've been experiencing things with. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So the friends you hang with now, are they still the same guys that you've been with?
Yeah, for the most part, like my core group of friends, yeah, we all been hanging out since I told you when I first started rapping in 2007. So, you know,
that's cool, bro.
Everybody doesn't have that. So I do appreciate my friend group, and I feel like we all appreciate each other because, you know, a lot of things happen, man. People die, people go to jail, you know, and for the most part, yo, we stuck together, you know. Just like any friend group, you know, we've been through our fair share of things, but it was never nothing serious where it's like, you know, we ain't doing this together no more. So, yeah, I still got the same friend group. And that's why I said, like, just experiencing the stuff with my people, it's like, you know what I mean? It's priceless, you feel me? Now we all got kids, and our kids the same ages and stuff, so it's
that's
love,
awesome,
bro. Real rap, man.
Yeah, that's super rare these days.
For sure.
Like that's awesome.
I take pride in it, you know what I mean? I just take pride in and just building on everything that I build on. Like, I got a lot of stuff on my plate, man, but, you know, I always tell people, like, you're not going to meet nobody that's going to carry it like me when my scene plate, you know, in front of me. It's like, you know, I'm going to carry it the way I carry it, and it's like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of people that fuck with me, that love me, you know, that want to see me prosper, you know what I mean? But then there's people, too, that don't like me, hate on me, you know, can't stand me, hate me, you know, but at the same time, I don't focus on that, you know what I mean?
That's how you know you're doing something right.
For sure, exactly.
Everybody hates a winner.
It's all part of it, exactly. So with that being said, I just block out all that stuff, and I just try to really just live a peaceful life, bro. Like, stress-free life, you know what I mean?
That's good.
I mean, everybody gonna have stresses and stuff, and dark days, and like, man, I just build on it, bro.
Yeah, that's fire, bro.
Sure.
So I think we're going to wrap it up here. If you had one... what was my question? Forget. One piece of advice for anybody else like that's out there that's trying to start, what would you say to them? Or like words for people that are out there that might feel discouraged or something like that.
Right. So what I definitely would advise is, like, being discouraged is part of the journey. You know, just like building your confidence is part of the journey. I just want to say that, like, don't compare yourself to others. Like, legit understand that you as, you know, artists, or even if you're, no matter what you're doing, when you're chasing your dreams, you have your own path. So comparing yourself to others is the quickest way to steal that joy. So just have tunnel vision. You know what I mean? Focus on what it is that you love about what you're doing, the reason why you're doing it, the why behind why you're doing it, and just lock in, bro. Don't worry about whatever people are doing, because I feel like that's one of the main things that could discourage someone. You know, social media is literally people just showing their highlights, and you might see something that might trigger you, and you feel like, dang, man, like, you know, and might even cause you to just feel, you know, hatred towards certain things or something. But it's like, nah, if you're focused on what you're trying to do and you stand with tunnel vision, you're going to get to where you need to be. There's so many things I've done over the years that I feel like, you know, I've seen success in when it came to my music because I had tunnel vision and I didn't let the outside noise affect me. But if you allow it to get too close to you, it can affect you. So have tunnel vision, lock in, you know, and being discouraged is all part of it. But at the same time, it's about how you bounce back from it, how you just do better next time, so you don't have to.
So just stay focused.
Exactly.
On whatever you're working on.
Stay super focused. Stay super locked in, honestly.
So where can people find you at? So
everything is Mack Simmy. Everything. YouTube, Instagram. I'm definitely trying to get my subscribers up on YouTube. I don't know what's going on with the subscribers, man. Like, oh man, like I'm trying to get my subscribers up. So Mack Simmy on YouTube, Mack Simmy everywhere, man. Follow me. If you listen to the project, I appreciate you giving any type of feedback, sharing it. But even if you're one of those people that listen to it and you don't feel, the need to want to share it or say anything, I still appreciate you tuning in. And I just want people to continue to stream Summertime Simmy 5. I got more music on the way. We got a bunch of content on the way, music videos, etc. Just talk to me, man.
For real. Go listen to it.
Ain't no ego here.
Go listen to the Summertime 5. It's good. But anyways, thank you for coming on, bro.
Man, thanks for having me.
We
did this, and the sun done set. I hope this looks crazy on the camera, but
oh my goodness!
Shout out to the city of Reading.
That's better than I thought.
Shout out to the 610, man. You know what I mean? Everybody that's out there that's working, let's keep going, man. Let's keep putting it together. Let's keep collaborating, and let's keep making this better and better each and every day, man.
For real.
Let's get it.
Cut. Good job, bro.
You already,
Appreciate
bro.
you, bro. Good.